I think it's great. I mean, the value of the dollar, look at the business we're doing. No, dollar's doing great.
The dollar is undergoing a secular decline.
Is
the big
that
trick
good?
for Treasury Secretary Bessent will be making sure it doesn't get disorderly.
It doesn't sound good, but you make a hell of a lot more money with a weaker dollar. Not a weak dollar, but a weaker dollar than you do with a strong dollar.
Donald Trump frames American exceptionalism as the result of US sacrifice for the rest of the world. In his telling of the story, America is NATO. Everyone else was on the sidelines. American bases kept Europe safe, and open markets hurt the United States. But the reality is the inverse. It is the world's reliance on the US dollar, its role as the global reserve currency, that has underwritten American power, prosperity, and influence. What economists call the exorbitant privilege is the ability of the United States to keep borrowing cheaply from the rest of the world and to live beyond its means. So the country runs persistent deficits. In usual circumstances, when you're constantly issuing IOUs in the form of bonds in the case of the United States, it leads to either higher interest rates or increasing inflation, as the government is continually spending more than it collects. But in the case of the United States, it exports this inflation because there's always demand for the dollar. Dollars to buy oil, dollars to buy other commodities, to settle their trades, hold dollars in their foreign reserves, or invest in US stocks or US bonds. This is how global demand for the dollar subsidizes the United States lifestyle and the United States wars. And it is why Donald Trump's claim that the US is simply sacrificing for the world misses the deeper reality. The system has long worked in America's favor, but this is coming to an end. The dollar since last year has seen a massive pullback, and this is a confidence shock. And the rocketing price of gold is telling you that the global system is quietly repricing American power. The International Monetary Fund data from last year shows that the dollar's share of the currency reserves is now at 56.3%. It's the lowest level since 1995. And this month, the dollar hit its weakest level since early 2022. It fell by over 1.5% alone earlier this week, after President Donald Trump said he was not concerned about the currency's recent drop. He said, "I think it's great," speaking to reporters in Iowa when asked if the dollar's value had declined too much. The dollar's doing great. This put it on track for its worst one-day drop since April 2025, when Donald Trump rolled out his global tariff agenda last year. While stocks recovered after the market chaos which was sparked by those tariffs, the dollar has not. In 2025, the dollar index logged its worst year since 2017, having declined 9% last year. And in the last 1 week, look at the dollar against every major currency. It's down 25% against the Swedish krona, 15% against the euro, 12% against the pound. Now, this is serious crisis of confidence in the dollar by any definition. It's down over 2% in January alone. It's the sharpest decline since 2018, over 8 years ago. The dollar's strength over the past decades was propelled in large part by the outperformance of the US economy and markets compared with the rest of the developed world. Political stability and a strong rule of law gave overseas investors, whether it was the Japanese life insurers or the European pension funds, an extra reason to snap up US assets. But this is now all gone. Trade shocks, Trump, and a sign of a slowing economy have sparked what is known as the Sell America trade that has hit the United States assets. The dollar was already in free fall in January, but then starting with renewed uncertainty around President Donald Trump's approach to foreign policy. Foreign policy adventures leave markets unsettled. It's been weighed down by fears that a debt-burdened United States is scrambling the global order, which has underpinned its own growth for decades. Trump's stance towards Greenland and NATO allies remains a negative for the dollar, as Europe or the rest of the world could start on the margin to move away from US assets. One Denmark pension fund already announced that it was going to sell around $100 million it holds in US Treasuries. Now that's a small amount in itself, but as a signal, it's far bigger. Overall, Denmark owns around $10 billion in US government debt as of November last year. Belgium has around $480 billion and France around $375 billion. Europe altogether owns around $3.6 trillion in US Treasuries, holding around 10%. Now that's not an insignificant amount of power if Europe decided to use it. For the dollar, this isn't retail players panicking. It's going to be slow institutional repositioning, pension funds hedging against the fluctuations in US policies, central banks that are rebalancing, and sovereign funds that are shortening their duration of bonds that they buy. So from the 10 years, they're going to be buying, let's say, 3 months instead, by investing in short-term risk on the country rather than taking a long-term investment on the United States bonds. Now, none of this makes headlines, but together it does move currencies. When Fox Business News asked Donald Trump how the United States would respond if Europe decides to sell treasuries, he said, "If that would happen, there would be a big retaliation on our part. And we have all the cards," he said. But they're not going to do it overnight. It will be done over time, as the Chinese have done it, for example. Since 2014, when the high point of Chinese holding bonds was over $1.4 trillion, or as the Indians have now started to do it. The BRICS countries are also desperate to move away from using the dollar as their intra-block trading currency. They don't see why Brazil and China have to buy and sell their soybeans going via a third currency, the dollar. While they're not launching a currency immediately, what they are doing is increasing the number of currency swaps, bilateral currency swaps between countries. They're using alternative settlement systems to the SWIFT system, and they're trying to reduce their reliance on US Treasuries and increasing gold reserves in their central banks. Overall, foreign countries hold around 30% of US debt, which were traditionally seen to be one of the world's safest assets. But if the US dollar becomes weaker over time, the value of their dollar assets goes down. They suddenly appear less safe. At a higher level, US partners are concerned about the reliability of the country, of the United States, as an ally, and they're starting to look for alternatives, both militarily and for trade. They have no good options, but a shift to an arm's-length relationship is likely to make for a much less pleasant business environment for United States companies operating overseas. And that's why we're suddenly hearing of Europe making the mother of all deals with India and Latin America, deals that have been stuck for over 2 decades until now. It's why the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney and the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer both just visited China and signed strategic agreements. Another major sign that the dollar is in trouble is clearly what we're seeing happening in gold. Gold is a traditional investor haven. It's up over 25% already this year, the first month of the year, and silver futures are up over 60%. Now that's a lot of noise. If there's a signal underneath, it is of big risks ahead. Gold has ripped higher, leaping to new highs this week, posting its biggest one-day advance in almost 6 years. It settled above $5,500 a troy ounce for the first time ever in history. Gold futures for January delivery rose over 6%, the biggest percentage increase for a front-month contract since March 2024. The biggest increase for a front-month contract since March 2020, when the world's economy was shutting down after the spread of COVID-19. This year's long gold rally took off when the West sanctioned Russia following its 2022 invasion of Ukraine. Central banks have been moving their reserves away from dollar-based assets and into gold, which is beyond the reach of Western sanctions. Lately, concerns about the weakness of the US dollar, lower interest rates, and comparatively expensive stocks have added to gold price increases. Now, I did a whole vlog on gold's rise. Do check it out. I will put a link in the description as well. Then we have another major factor that is worrying all those holders of US Treasuries, which is also affecting the US dollar. The Trump administration's attempt to fire Fed Governor Lisa Cook and the Justice Department's investigation of Chair Jerome Powell have raised concerns that the bank's independence could be at risk. When Chair Powell attended the oral arguments at the Supreme Court last week in the case, he was asked if it was appropriate for him to do so. Powell said he attended because that case is perhaps the most important legal case in the Fed's 113-year history. Trump's attack on the central bank has also unnerved investors because he wants interest rates far below where economists actually think they should be. If he succeeds and interest rates are cut radically, they could reignite inflation, shock the bond market, or both, have nasty effects on stocks as well. The independence of the central bank is crucial for the dollar in many ways, including the credibility of the policy being set in the United States. If that independence is questioned, investors begin to assume that interest rates will be kept far too low for too long in order to support economic growth, reduce government borrowing costs, or satisfying political pressure. When that happens, the expected real returns on dollar assets fall, and the capital starts looking elsewhere for protection in gold, commodities, or foreign currencies. And the dollar is going to weaken at that point. So mechanically, how does this work? Well, to buy dollar assets, foreigners buy the dollars. When demand for the assets falls, it falls for the currency as well. So for the United States, this credibility is especially important because the dollar is the world's reserve currency. It needs to stay strong and stable. It needs to stay stable, most importantly. Once markets doubt the Federal Reserve's willingness or ability to act independently, that foundation of dollar strength, the confidence in its long-term stability, starts to erode. Now, Donald Trump has finally announced his replacement for Jerome Powell. He's known as Kevin Warsh. He is the former Fed governor. He's a monetary hawk, so he's seen to be a good replacement for Jerome Powell. He's a man who's going to be strong on inflation, apparently. But let's see whether he can stand up to Trump's pressure for lower rates. Last week, the US Treasury and the New York Federal Reserve conducted rare rate checks and heightened the monitoring of the US-Japan exchange rate. Now, these are unusual steps, and that sparked a speculation that this is a precursor to a potential intervention to strengthen the Japanese yen versus the US currency. The fact that the two countries, Japan and US, may be considering a potential joint intervention, as they had famously done in 1985 under the Plaza Accord. Weakening the US dollar at the time was needed to boost US manufacturing competitiveness. Comments by Trump that the dollar looks great when you take those along with the touted Mar-a-Lago Accord framework, which is basically a belief system that we need to weaken the dollar to make US exports more competitive, lower those rates to make it easier to service the debt for the US government, and force other countries to pay for the privilege of using the dollar as the global reserve currency, means that traders believe that the sell dollar trade is a real possibility. When asked about it, the Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said the US is absolutely not strengthening the yen against the dollar. However, traders don't believe him and think a dollar weaker is on the cards overall. Traders are betting it's going to get worse. Look at the foreign exchange options market activity, for example. With the euro dollar, the euro currency currently trading at $1.19, investors are paying much more to bet that it's going to rise to 124 by March. In contrast, the demand for protection against a drop to 116, for example, that is much cheaper to buy. It's getting more dollars for a single euro means that the euro is strengthening. So a skew like this shows that the market sees that a dollar sell-off is much more likely than a dollar recovery. So to be clear, though, the dollar is not collapsing. There is no replacement currency waiting in the wings to take over. But reserve currencies don't fall off the cliff. They erode slowly over time. So far, the status of the dollar as the world's dominant global currency, and therefore the US's so-called exorbitant privilege of being able to run sustained balance of payment deficits without any penalty, is still remaining intact. But the conditions that are sustaining it are changing. And the markets are telling you that adjustment is no longer theoretical. It is happening in real time. I'm Najma Minhas with GVS Deep Dive. Thank you for joining me today. Have a great day.